All right. So for this segment, I want to just add some of the more deeper tidbits and kind of less talked about stuff that I have found with meditation. Uh, these ideas, I think, kind of require you to have had a little bit of time of maintaining your focus, but it's something to think about, and I think it's quite interesting. So um, there's two things I want to talk about. So one you have to figure out this first one before you get the second. So when you sit there and you meditate and you have the idea you're not your thoughts, you're the thing the thought goes to, it makes you realize that you're fundamentally different than necessarily your body or even your brain. And you can, it makes you question free will. Like, I can open and close this hand, and I know I'm interacting with the brain, and then it's going downstream and doing this all, but it's weird to be the thing that is interacting with it. And that's partly the goal of meditation, is to kind of get you more in the seat of being the thing that is running everything in the background, the thing behind your eyes, the thing behind your thoughts, and the thing that is listening, and the thing that actually sees. The eyes take in light, but you're the thing that actually sees, right? So, I mean you in there as being alive or conscious. Other people would call it a spirit, okay? These are different terms. You could call it an electromagnetic phenomena, if you like the physics of it, okay? This is something that seems to have input into the system. If you're trying to orient your attention, you're the thing that is doing that orienting. Okay, so it makes you wonder. When you zoom out of the universe, you have this fine powder of stars, and when you zoom in, you have this fine powder of atoms, and yet you're made of all of that, and here you are as an experience. So somehow life permeates all of that dust. And you seem to be a little bit of both of those things, okay? So why this is important to grasp first is because of the second part. So we know that neurons that fire together wire together. And we know that your personality is going to be built off of a lot of the repeated thoughts that you have had, because when you repeat the thought, you create a circuit in your head, and then the neurons form around that circuit. Okay, so now you have growth around that circuit. You hold that thought, you're more likely to have that thought the next day, and you remember little references and quotes and all these things. They build up to build a personality, and that thing is always sitting behind it all. And when you have had time to orient that thing's focus and and watch your thoughts and had time to analyze things and try to change things, you can do stuff that's strange, like a mantra. So you can choose to speak something on repeat, and your brain, through repetition, will save that information into your psyche. Okay, so if you say, let's just do a very simple polarized statement. So I am weak or I am strong. Okay, now just run this thought in your head. If you sit there and you're very focused and you just tell the body and you do it to say, I am weak, I am weak, you just keep saying it over and over. You're doing 10 minutes a day. When the rubber hits the road and you're out there doing something, that area of your brain is going to get activated when it's time to give up, and your ego asks, like, is it time to tap? Am I that guy? And the statement, I am weak or I am strong, is going to get called. That is in your register of commands to call upon to manage this machine. And what are you are that thing in there. What are you saying to yourself? What are you sticking in there? Yes, your parents gave you a ton of different things that you have been running off of all the way up into this point, as well as a lot of other people, whoever influenced you. You have a chance when you can orient your focus to choose what type of influence you need and shape your brain in the same way a bodybuilder shapes their muscles. You actively use your attention and will in the gym to go, I'm going to be training my bicep right now. Now I'm going to be training my tricep. I'm going to grow this way. I'm going to grow that way. What is it? It's constant stimulus, and you're the one who's going in there purposefully and applying that stimulus. This is something you can do with your own consciousness if you put your mind to it and write down the thing that you need to hear or need to say to yourself, or say internally and repeat and install and download and hold on to neurologically that thought and that ideology. These are things that can change you. So that's the mechanism behind it. You choose if you go off and do that. I think this is part of actually building ourselves up, because you can look at like what other people say. It's like watching motivational videos. You see other people doing it, but it's another thing to actually say something to yourself and make your brains say it and your body say, I am this, I am this, I am this. And that could be how manifesting works. I don't know. I don't think that's worth getting into on this channel. But I know that the brain remembers repetition, and it's built around repetition. So bear this in mind. Understand that you can actually say things to yourself, and your thoughts every day are building your psychological profile. But you can actually do a lot to change your subconscious operations by simply forcing yourself to repeat things. And the thing that is forcing your body to repeat is you. So you can really shape your brain. If you really pay attention and you take time to sit down and choose what you wish to say, you're altering how you're more likely to respond in things. It doesn't make you automatically that thing, but it makes you, I mean, think about it. If you're telling yourself you're weak all day and something becomes challenging, you're more likely to tap out if you're saying that. Like, you're going to be hard pressed to convince me otherwise than the Mr. I think I can. Like, it's been something that you try to teach in kids' book their whole life because it's actually effective. But I think for ourselves, if we're going to customize our psychology and tailor it to what we need, there is time when you have that level of focus, and if you're staying consistent, where you can spend 5-10 minutes and repeat something, and if you do that for a week or two, you're going to have an impact on your psychology, I guarantee you. So this is what happens if we can actually orient our focus, is we end up being able to use our own consciousness and have it interact with our brain in different nuanced ways, assuming that we understand how the system works and mechanisms of how the brain saves information. But that first has to start with the kind of understanding that you're not necessarily your brain, but you're something that is interacting with it, and you can do customizations. So hope you enjoyed that tidbit. Yeah, take it easy.